Appreciate it. Oh, well, thanks for the warm welcome. Hopefully I don't put you to sleep after that wonderful lunch, because I'm feeling it too. But yeah, thank you for today. And I got to say, the programming before was amazing, and I think it ties in perfectly with what I'm here to talk about today, and that is the Recovery Ready Communities certification program, which was a outgrowth of House Bill 7 in 2021. And it's a cool anecdote because if someone says that like a small group of people can't enact like huge systemic change, they're lying to your face. Because how this came about, it's an amazing story. Rep. Adam Bowling was in a Bright Leadership program and cohort with another gentleman named Gene Deathridge, and they decided that their thesis project was going to be a quality measure of a community's substance use disorder response. And that actually morphed into a House bill that was passed unanimously in 2021. So it's sort of an amazing thing that, if just a handful of folks in the right place that have are talking to the right people can enact real change. And so it's really exciting to see this take shape. And really what House Bill 7 did was it created the Recovery Ready Communities Advisory Council. So it's a 22-person council. It runs the gamut. We've got, our chair is Pamela Darnell from the Children and Family Center, or Center for Children and Families out of Louisville. So she's a great insight in terms of working with adverse childhood events, and just a great leader for the council. And then we've got about half of the folks are appointed, and then half of the folks are there by reason of their title or their position that they hold. So again, just runs the gamut of everything that touches SUD response. And we're really, really grateful to have such a really involved advisory council. And basically, what before I came aboard, they were getting feedback and really just doing sort of a listening tour of all, any treatment provider that wanted to come speak. The core team came and spoke. The Healing Communities team came and spoke. They did a really good job of bringing people in and sort of educating all the members of the advisory council. So they all started at a base level, and then Executive Director Van Ingram decided that they needed some backup, probably because he's the busiest man in Kentucky in terms of his scheduling. And let's see, he was working on the Opioid Abatement Advisory Commission. He was helping Chair Darnell run this. And then also the General Assembly was like, well, why don't you go ahead and start working on Senate Bill 90 as well? So, which I'm really excited to hear about later this afternoon, the progress down here. So it's just a lot of moving parts, a lot of moving pieces, but I think it's really great because we're at a juncture right now where there's so many resources, there's so much attention, and what Sue and I have seen on the road, everyone's pulling the same direction. And I don't think we saw that early on when we were first sort of, grappling with, what was it, 2011, 2012, at least in Louisville, we were grappling with like black tar heroin, and then now we kind of missed the days of that in terms of with the fentanyl contamination everywhere. And so it's interesting to see this evolution. So we were contracted with the Office of Drug Control Policy to help them take all the information that they received and then develop a blueprint for communities in terms of what type of criteria should we evaluate to measure a community's response. And so what that developed into is a 3-category evaluation, 100 points in each category possible. And I mean, the 3 categories include prevention, treatment, and recovery support. And so it's a really sort of deep dive, and we'll get into that as well. one thing I wanted to say, from the outset, really, again, with the presentations earlier, I mean, they perfectly encapsulate the goals of the program. We're trying to reduce stigma among all levels of response in the community. We're trying to increase recovery capital, and sort of to put a face on that term, Donald's presentation where he said, "What made me successful?" All those protective factors that he talked about, that's what recovery capital is. So we're trying to come up with a way of how do we replicate those protective factors for everybody, and how do we lower barriers and make sure that folks, have a safe place to stay, have transportation to and from treatment, I know our RCC folks, I mean, amazing. Like these, I can't say enough good things about the folks that work there, and really they are the fulcrum of a really solid recovery support system, and we're really trying to push more folks to start these, because they are just, it is the emerging model, and I think it's really going to change. I've seen it change lives. We've seen it here in Paducah with Turning Point. Volunteers of America has been operating one in Clay County, Manchester, and actually the first time I got to meet my colleague Sue, she's our community engagement liaison, and so I go down to Clay County. In the morning, I think they were doing a few groups, helping supporting groups. Then we had to meet with the county judge executive, and then we had to run back for a naloxone training, which was well attended. We had folks from the jail there. We had magistrates, community members, just a whole gambit, all just at this central location, all learning about harm reduction and destigmatization of carrying naloxone, and it was a beautiful thing. And then Sue had to run away from me because she was going to the jail to pick up some folks to get them into Freedom House, which is our pregnant parenting women program. So it's just, I mean, when you just visit one of these centers on a daily basis, and they are literally putting out fires in real time and saving lives, and really disrupting intergenerational cycles of trauma and substance use. It's really a miracle to behold and amazing to see the work that these folks are doing on a daily basis. And obviously, with those three goals, we're hoping that we will see a decrease in overdose deaths, an increase in workforce participation. That's kind of the wording of House Bill 7 is, and that goes back to, we know that is a huge indicator of success when it comes to successful reentry if someone's justice involved, or just in terms of successful reentry into community, even if you're not justice involved, having a solid employment is pivotal in terms of putting someone on the path to success and giving them hope, and then giving them a purpose and connection with their community. And what we're seeing, and something that's very heartening, I'm coming out of my background, worked in the General Assembly in a nonpartisan capacity to begin with, and that was amazing. Worked for the Judiciary Committees in the House and the Senate, and then followed my House chairman when he took the Secretary of Justice and Public Safety. And so I spent 3 years at the cabinet, and we oversaw the prisons, the state police, the medical examiners, the parole board, pretty much anything that can go wrong or have catastrophic issues, we were overseeing them outside of the cabinet with DCBS. But we worked well with them, and that was very eye-opening in terms of, I thought we were going to be able to implement all this great stuff just like day one. We were going to get in there, change things up, shake it up, and all the things that we passed in the legislature that were kind of languishing, we were going to supercharge it. Well, there's this thing called institutional inertia, and it's really hard to right a ship that's been chugging along for 50 years sort of the same way. But to the folks' credit that we encountered, I mean, there's a ton of dedicated people, probation, parole, correctional officers. They see this on a daily basis, and they're tired of not seeing good results. And so we're seeing, law enforcement step up and help out, and prosecutors as well. it's really running the gambit in terms of where everyone just wants a solution. They want to help their friends and neighbors, and it's a beautiful thing. And as someone coming from the legislature, where you can be very cynical about life and politics and where we're at, this position now that I'm in, it's the best for a burnout attorney who's also a policy geek that's trying to do good things. It's just, I get to meet amazing people on a daily basis and be a cheerleader for the great work they're doing. It's really exciting. So this is sort of just giving an overview of what went into the development of this 300-point scoring criteria. So we met with the Association of Public Health Departments. We met with as many judge executives and magistrates as we could. We met with providers, prosecutors, really, everyone that touches substance use disorder response. We wanted them at the table, and we wanted their input in this criteria. And again, so these are the three categories that we look to evaluate. And, I can go a little bit deeper into each one. Sort of in the beginning with prevention, we're really looking at, does the community have a strong and active ASAP board? Because that's really what, that can also be a really good place in terms of deconflicting and making sure that resources are deployed in a strategic and really thoughtful way. And so we're really trying to support our local ASAP boards and really, and then also along with ASAP boards, Unite coalitions as well. I mean, those are two sort of natural nerve centers for a strong recovery-oriented ecosystem. Then treatment, we're really looking at promoting evidence-based assessments, evidence-based interventions. There's no one size fits all. We want as many paths to recovery as folks need. And while I think it's weighted more heavily if it is evidence-based, we still recognize that if someone wants to engage in maybe something like a faith-based program that doesn't have a strong evidence base, or maybe is like promising practice, there's room for that as well. And then recovery support, again, the recovery community centers or the recovery community organizations, that's a big focus in terms of there. And then really just sort of having flexible schedules for recovery support meetings, and going towards, again, the point about having MOUD-friendly meetings, or that's also another thing. And then folks with alternative schedules, like if someone has to work third shift, making sure that they have the ability to go to a support meeting. So that's really, in terms of trying to build out that recovery support system, that's what we're looking at with the criteria. So we've just certified our first county, which was really exciting. So we were Boyle County was the first to apply, and they were we were able to do the first to do a site visit. And basically how this goes, so we work with a lot of, it's sort of organically happening. It's mostly health departments, mostly ASAP boards, and they're the ones that are sort of taking lead on the application. And so once we have an application team assembled, Sue and I start working with them in terms of answering any sort of technical questions they may have. One thing we've been doing is providing like a version of our criteria in a Google Word document, or a Google Docs document, and that allows like multidisciplinary teams to work simultaneously on the application and like divide and conquer in terms of say like someone from the RCC wants to take the recovery support section, and someone from maybe the alternative sentencing, the local alternative sentencing worker wants to take the court system. So it's sort of that's sort of a thing that we've come up with to help make the application process a little bit easier on folks. And then, so after we get the application, and then the communities will actually apply through the website, which I will show you all at the end, because I want to sort of let you all see the website, because there's some really good tools on there for folks. Even if you maybe aren't ready to apply yet, I think it's a good exercise in going through the criteria, especially in light of the opioid settlement dollars. I think this is a really good exercise for any community, for any, for magistrates, for judge execs, for city commissions and mayors, to really do a deep dive into their response and see, what are we doing well, and what are the opportunities for improvement. So we're really encouraging everyone to just use the criteria, because we're just trying to build out recovery-oriented systems of care, and sort of to steal a great saying from Van Ingram, who's our state drug czar, executive director of the Office of Drug Control Policy. He keeps making a point where Frankfurt and Washington aren't going to save us. They definitely have a role to play. They have they need to help provide resources, but really, at the end of the day, it's what is the local response on the ground? And how do we build that response out in a way that's compassionate, responsive, and effective? And that's really at the heart of this process, is that's what we're trying to promote. We're trying to promote good evidence-based practices. We're trying to promote destigmatization among community members. We've got a special focus on the faith community, because we know, as a Commonwealth, we're a very strong faith tradition, so we've got to have, those folks on our side to make this successful in every community across the Commonwealth. And we're seeing really cool, innovative practices with health departments engaging the faith community. They're doing like lunch and learns with pastors. That's a really cool idea. Doing naloxone trainings at churches as well. Awesome idea. So we're really excited at the innovation that we're seeing, and really the advisory members, when they were choosing. So we gave them a draft criteria, and then they really did do the hard work of adding and sort of using their lived experience and their expertise to make it stronger. So and that was part of it, was the engagement with the faith-based community. So it's really amazing to see that growth. So after we conduct our site visit, we go back, Sue and I will go back, and we will confer with Chair Darnell and Executive Director Ingram, go through our scoring recommendation, create a recommendation report that sort of highlights the strengths and opportunities, and then we make a presentation to the full advisory council, the full 22-person advisory council, and they have the ultimate authority in terms of who gets certified. And then, knock on wood, we haven't had it yet in terms of a community that maybe fell a little short in the evaluation, but it's we're expecting that's going to happen, and there's nothing wrong with that. Again, we're a work in progress, and the last thing we want to do is dissuade a county or a community from doing this. So we will go back and make sure, offer, maybe there's a model that would work, because we know it works in a similarly situated community to get the points that they needed, and to build out the infrastructure they need for the folks that are suffering from substance use disorder. So really excited about this. So we launched our website in February, at the height of the legislative session, and so it was sort of, we were fighting that news cycle and trying to get with county judge executives and mayors and so forth. But we've gotten 3 completed applications. We've done site visits in Boyle County, which is Danville, and then Perry County, which is Hazard. And we are working to get Woodford County scheduled. We are actually going to, the council just voted on last Friday to certify Boyle County. They haven't had the recommendation yet from Perry County yet, but and I think the governor is going to announce the Boyle County certification at his Team Kentucky briefing Thursday. So look forward to that. Really, it's been sort of amazing to see the evaluation is really flexible. And none of these counties look the same. And they each have really cool strengths. So Boyle County, they have a EMT-based overdose outreach specialist who provides peer support services. So it's just an amazing linkage in terms of that recovery support system. If they go on a run with fire and EMS, they can provide immediate services there, or they can do a follow-up within 24 to 48 hours is what they really work towards. And they found a rock star, Terry Dunn. He's in long-term recovery himself, social worker by training, and just an amazing model. Because we've seen some like police-based social workers, and that's another great model that I think the first one was in maybe Northern Kentucky, I believe in Alexandria. Kelly Pompeo, I think, was the first one. And so it's cool to see that sort of intervention morphing and adapting. And for whatever reason, I think Boyle County decided that it fit better in their emergency medical services division. And so that's a really cool program and intervention. And then Perry County, incredible quick response team. They, so we went for our site visit. We scheduled our site visits to coincide with what they call the situation table, and it's literally a big U-shaped table, and everyone from DCBS to the sheriff's department to all the social services providers, treatment providers, they literally get around a table and go case by case. If someone has a client that has an immediate need, they work to address it in real time right there. And it's to see it work, it sounds cool and it's a great idea, but to see it actually work in real time, it was incredible. It's like we're actually like solving problems in real time, getting people the support they need when they need it. And it was very heartening to see, and that's hopefully a model that can be replicated. I really hope it will be. And I think going back to Donnie's presentation, one of the key components with that QRT team approach is they have an ex-state trooper who is now a Perry County Sheriff's deputy who is part of the QRT team, and that has given the sheriff's a level of comfort, the sheriff's department a level of comfort in terms of information sharing. And so they're getting real-time data in terms of like overdose hotspots, and they're putting resources in those hotspots, or they're asking the amazing peer support specialist at the syringe support program to go visit those hotspots in real time in response to a rash of overdoses in a certain geographic area. So that's sort of as people are planning and thinking about these interventions, I think that can't be, the importance can't be stressed enough in terms of like actually getting good data sharing. You gotta have, I think, law enforcement at the table and integrated on the team. So I think that's a really great model, and we're really excited to see that. And then Woodford County, it's really interesting. The application team member, or the lead behind the application, she's actually a leader in the local chamber. So that's another wonderful thing to see the business community stepping up and really working to make sure that there's fair chance employment opportunities, that they're really, pushing their members to be responsive to this population, and then also to implement and adopt evidence-based employee support programs and employee assistance programs. So that's, again, another really heartening development that we're seeing. I'm just going to give it sort of this will show you where Boyle County was, and then working So hopefully we're going to work towards that whole, everything being colored in. We know that there's the Northern Kentucky Office of Drug Control Policy. So it's a 3-county, county-funded entity. And so it's Boone, Kenton, Campbell, right up at the very top of Kentucky. They are working with Grant County, and they are going to do a regional application. So it's going to be the 3 main counties that are part of the Northern Kentucky Office of Drug Control Policy, but adding Grant County because St. Elizabeth Healthcare, I think, serves all 4 counties. And they're trying to sort of bring Grant County in the fold and get their recovery-oriented system of care sort of up to snuff. And it's going to be it's going to be a lot of, I think, a pretty intense site visit process, trying to go across 4 counties to see how everything works. But we're really excited about that. I think that's a really innovative approach. And again, that's sort of in line with the vision that the advisory council members had. They didn't want this to be, we're duplicating services everywhere, or that every county needs a residential treatment facility. What they wanted to make sure there was meaningful access for folks that needed it in every county, and that really we can fill these needs without duplicating resources and wasting resources. And this is also what we're really excited about. So we know that there are multiple counties that are in the wings that are working on their application, and really wanted to encourage everyone. If we can be helpful in any way, let us know. We'd love to come present to your local fiscal court or your city council, whatever we can do to be supportive of your all's efforts on the ground. We're really, really excited about these folks stepping up and pursuing this. I'm really excited because we'll see Lee County. They're in the same health department region as Perry County, and so and they actually have a slightly different model that they're trying to take down to Perry County called the Hub, and it's like a slightly different version of an RCC that's based at the health department, and it's a really cool model, an innovative model as well. And there's just, again, this is not a one-size-fits-all Fiat from Frankfurt. It's a very flexible evaluation criteria that's designed to really allow counties to choose their own path, but sort of strengthen that local system on the ground. And then I wanted to, while I've got you guys, sort of just show off the website. So this is the website that we built. The application portal. So the top right button, that's the apply button. But before you get to that, I would encourage to take a look at this tab, which actually has our criteria sort of laid out for folks so they know what their community looks like in terms of which population category would they fall into. And then you can go through each of the 3 categories and see what we're looking to evaluate folks on. I want to give a shout out. I'm sure I'm preaching to the choir here, but here in Kentucky, we have an amazing resource with KIPRC at the University of Kentucky College of Public Health, College of Public Health. They are, the data and the reports that they're able to publish are incredible. And so much so that I think Tennessee is actually hiring them to sort of try to build out the same system down there for them. And I wanted to show, because everywhere I go, I encourage county officials to sort of look at their county profiles. So you can literally from 2017 to 2021, you can follow what's been happening in your county based on the fatal overdose rate, non-fatal overdose emergency department visits. So we see the statewide map in 2017 and sort of the problem areas, and then sort of an interesting geographic shift in 2021. So I really highly encourage everyone to use this tool as you're thinking, maybe you're applying for state opioid money. This is a great resource to sort of bolster your application. And then also, we figured that folks might end up on our website and just want to know how to access treatment. Maybe they don't realize that this is just a sort of a certification program. So we wanted to also include findhelpnowky.org and then Find Recovery Housing as well. So these are two, again, KIPRIC adjacent projects that are just amazing, amazing tools for folks. So that's really, we wanted to sort of promote that as well. You can literally just fill out almost. They can't claim that it's absolutely real time, but from VOA's perspective, the second that we put in our daily census, it's reflected on the website. So even though they try to claim that it's not like actual real time, I don't know how much closer to real time you can be. And this is a hugely life-saving tool for families that just maybe they're dealing with substance use disorder for the first time and they have no idea where to turn. They can fill out you can fill it out as a family member looking for help for somebody. And then this is exciting too because this is the newest sort of addition where you can find recovery housing. And everything listed here is certified through the Kentucky Recovery Housing Network. And like what Brandon was saying earlier, eventually, anyone that's going to be in this space, with the exception of religiously affiliated or religiously ran entities, will have to be certified. So again, this is another great quality measure as we try to build out this, this desperate need. We want to make sure that we're not putting people in unsafe environments. So we're seeing sort of this certification as sort of the way forward. And then this is again a great tool for anybody that is looking. If you're working with a client that needs housing, I would highly recommend you start here if you don't know what your local resources are. And then, really, I kind of wanted to be able to be interactive. If anybody has any questions about the program or how we, how the website works, or really kind of wanted to open it up to folks. Yeah, please.
For the certified counties, get more funding from the government?
So not explicitly yet. So we're working with Van. We're hoping that maybe we can maybe give extra points for other grant opportunities if you are certified recovery ready. So that's something that we're looking at, working towards, maybe the Economic Development Cabinet, maybe making sure that there's extra points on an application for a project through them.
And I hope that everyone noticed that McCracken County was on the list, and we are partnering the health department and Turning Point Recovery Community Center to apply. So hopefully, fingers crossed, coming soon.
Coming soon, yeah, we're excited.
And he mentioned that the situation check, we already have one here in town, so if anybody's interested in that, check it out. Your agency might be part of something that could help individuals, like you said, real time.
No, thank you for that. And that's great to know. I didn't know that you all had. Again, that's something, if I could have one intervention that we've seen so far sort of replicated in every community, it would be that situation table. I mean, it's just the immediacy of that response, and we're talking about just basic needs that most of us are maybe a little too privileged to not think about. And it's just amazing to see that community come. Again, it goes back to Van's saying that like, DC and Frankfurt aren't going to save us. We gotta work together and bolster each other's efforts, and we're going to save ourselves. And this that situation table is just amazing. Yes, ma'am. Yeah. So it's a rolling application, and there's no set. We're encouraging folks to work with their local elected officials and get them on board. And we have not run into any situation where the local folks don't want to be or don't want to apply or don't want to be on board. A lot of times they'll be like, I'm not an expert in this, but I know who is, and so here, help me apply, help fill this application out. But yeah, we've gotten really good feedback from magistrates and judge executives, and so really anyone can apply. But again, we're trying to encourage. We want as much community involvement as possible and sign off. Yeah. Yes. So really, the way the application works is sort of a narrative. We give you as much space as you want, and we encourage. Again, making any kind of evaluation criteria, you got to be a little more general with the terms. So if you have any questions, please contact us, because we can explain what we mean or what the council meant when they were asking about that. One that has come up sort of multiple times, pro-social groups for youth and college-aged individuals. And that's, so really what that can be, that can look like a lot of different things. And we've seen a lot of cool interventions, like in Hazard in Perry County, they have this thing called the Sapling Center. And it's literally like an after-school drop-in program designed to give kids a place to safely do homework, to just stay off the streets, to play basketball with their friends. Anything we can do that's pro-social behavior, that's community building, and gives kids an opportunity to be kids and be safe. And that's really that's one thing. A chapter of YPR, Young People in Recovery, that would meet that criteria. There's like Unite camps out east, that would meet that criteria. Really, it's like any type of community organization or recreational activities that aren't centered around substances for youth and college-age kids. So, yeah. Yeah.
So with the organizations over here, how could we best get involved behind the efforts that you're doing?
Yeah, no, you are. So Jason Merrick, we actually met in Louisa with the county judge executive and the mayor. So, yeah, you all are already well on the way to, and when the work that you all are doing in Louisa is just amazing. What you've been able to accomplish with those 2 city blocks. It's an entire recovery block. So it's a neat ecosystem that you all have built. That we're hoping that another great model for, and then also your all social enterprise programs. So they ARC, they actually have multiple programs where like what's the mechanics program? No, it was really neat. So basically, like they teach. It's like a certificate. What'd you say? Second Chance Auto. Oh yeah, Second Chance Auto. So it's a functioning like oil change, tire rotation, whatever you need on your car. It's a functioning garage that makes money and that works. But they're teaching folks in recovery very marketable skills on how to do car repair and very transferable skills. They could go anywhere and get a job that pays well and that they can provide for their family. So that's a really cool program. That's what, yeah. And then we really want to encourage, so we've got a lot of great support from the state chamber. They're doing great work around transformational employment, employee assistance programs. So we're really wanting to get the local chambers involved as well. So any kind of connections there, that's what we're encouraging as well. Any other?
Is there usually a single applicant or multiple agencies combined? Or?
Yeah, so the way it's shaken out, we've had, there's usually one lead sort of, I call them a cat herder, because they're just trying to herd a bunch of cats and get this application together. And it's usually like someone at the health department or the ASAP board, just because it's a natural locus in terms of where information flows. And so then they're able to sort of divvy out like, hey, I don't know much about what's going on in the hospital system. Can you show me, what's going on? Or so yeah, that's a great question. But I believe we've had, so out of the 3 completed applications, there was only one that there was one name sort of attached. Everything else was sort of a group effort. Yeah. Anything?
So me and Brandon are working on the McCracken County one, so you may be contacted in the future about providing some information for the application, so just be on the lookout for something from us in the future.
And then I would, again, just encourage everyone to go to the website. It's rrcky.org. Use the tools that KIPRC has generously provided. Again, I think it's very illuminating to sort of see the evolution of the issue in real time and solid data. I think we surprised a lot of county officials that maybe didn't think that they had an issue or it wasn't. They didn't realize the sort of the depth of the issue that they have locally. So I think that's, again, I can't say enough good things about KIPRC. We are extremely lucky to have them here in Kentucky and to have, and they're always so gracious with their resources and allowing us to use their tools and to promote their tools. So I really, again, another shout out to them. And then I really do need to acknowledge as well Dr. Marks and Dr. Allen from CORE. They are rock stars. We are really fortunate to have their expertise at our disposal. Really, we're building on the backs of their success in terms of the interventions that they went out on a limb to fund and to fight for. We're coming back behind them and saying, hey, let's expand this to everywhere. So really lucky to have that expertise at our disposal. Yeah. Please, anyone that's interested or if you got any questions, Sue, can you raise your hand? Sue Fox, our community engagement liaison, she's a rock star. Wears multiple hats, works at our recovery community center as well in Manchester, and then also works with the local health department and was able to, something I was really proud of the effort of her efforts, Rockcastle County, there were three counties in the same public health district. 2 of the 3 counties had full harm reduction services, including naloxone distribution, syringe support, fentanyl test strips. The 3rd county was sort of a holdout, and they were just not, magistrates just weren't comfortable with the concept of syringe support yet. Well, through Sue's advocacy with the health department folks. And meeting with those magistrates, and convincing them, they finally approved the proposal, and now there is that entire health department district has full harm reduction services, and that's a huge win. Sort of another anecdote as a young legislative staffer working on the bill that would become Senate Bill 192, which authorized the harm reduction programs. Chairman Tilley and I, we thought maybe we'd have 3 programs, if we were lucky, throughout the state. And I'm in awe. But right now we actually have 83 programs in 64 counties, and I mean that's just a testament to the amazing the amazing professionals in our health departments. I mean, just to see this grow like that, and to see this folks step up in a stigmatized space. You know, I think there's still a lot of folks. You know, we're still trying to figure out how to get everyone on board. It's becoming easier. It's a lot easier now, but it's still a big sell for some judge execs and for some magistrates. So again, I can't say enough good things about our public health departments and the amazing work that they do on a daily basis. And then going in terms of another effective intervention, going off of what Brandon said, co-locating peer support specialists anywhere that'll take them. That's where I think that's where we're seeing a lot of communities see a lot of success. You know, whether it be a bridge clinic in the emergency department with peer support specialists, or peer support specialists that is part of a quick response team for overdose response. You know, really anywhere where someone's at risk of overdose or of you know, that may come into contact with any of our systems, having a peer support is just a huge force multiplier in terms of getting people the help they need. So I'm a huge advocate of peer support services and making sure that there's as many that we can have as possible. So, any questions? Well, thank you. Thank you.